Yeah, now read it out, please. Thank you. Start.
Yes. Obtaining an understanding of the entity and its environment, including the entity's internal control, referred to hereafter as its understanding of the entity, is a continuous dynamic process of gathering, updating, and analyzing information throughout the audit. The understanding establishes a frame of reference within which the auditor plans the audit and exercises professional judgment throughout the audit. For example,
Okay, now everyone try to understand this point. What they are trying saying that ki we all know that what is the standard we are actually doing right now? The standard number what we are actually doing right now is SA 315. What is SA 315? Identifying an assessment of risk of material misstatement in what? Financial statements by understanding what? Entity, by understanding what? Environment, and by understanding its what? Internal control system. So now we are trying to understand what? Entity. Do you remember that in the chapter number 2, while doing the planning, program and execution chapter mein, planning strategy and program chapter mein, we understood how to acquire the knowledge of the client's business. Do you all remember knowledge of client's business?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? There was one topic called how to acquire the knowledge of client's business. That the same point, copy paste, we have to learn over here. Same 100% point, we have to copy paste, learn over here. Now tell me one thing. When we are talking about acquiring the knowledge of client's business, what do you actually understand by that? What do you mean by acquiring the knowledge of client's business? What do you mean by entity knowledge? Do you have to understand the internal factors and external factors of the entity? Yes. Sir, what do you mean by external factors? Should you know the industry in which the entity operates? Yes. Should you know the price competitions of the entity? Yes. Should you know the competitors of the entity? Yes. Should you know the industry profits? Yes. Should you know the industry liquidity? Yes. Because if you know or if you have the knowledge of industry profits and industry liquidity, industry competition, and what is the nature of the industry, who are the producers in the industry, to whom you sell and to whom from whom you buy, then only you can have the knowledge of your client's business. Are you getting the point or not? That is what the major thing you have to understand first. Second thing which we understood in the what do you say acquiring the knowledge of client's business is internal factors also. You should know the accounting policies of your client. You should know the what do you say objectives of your client. You should know the financial performance of your client. You should know the that accounting policies are consistently followed. If it has been changed, what is the reason it has been changed? You should know the suppliers of your client. You should know the investment portfolio of your client. So you should know the strategies and objectives of your client. Each and everything, if you remember, we have done a very big definition in our chapter called acquiring the knowledge of whose business? Client's business. So that is what is going to be talked about here, SA 315. That is known as what? First, we are understanding of the entity. And understanding of an entity is not a one-time process. It is not that ki 1 year you did the audit and you understood the entity, so next year you don't have to understand it, because every year the entity changes, its environment changes, and internal control system also changes. So what they are saying that obtaining an understanding of the entity and its environment, including the entity's internal control, is a continuous dynamic process of gathering. What do we get to know? We gather, we update, and we analyze the information throughout the audit. The understanding establishes the frame of reference within which the auditor plans the audit and exercises his with judgment, professional judgment. Now, please continue. How do we understand and what are the advantages of understanding the entity?
for example, assessing risk of material misstatement of the financial statement,
So,
determining
by understanding the entity, we can understand or we can assess their risk of what? We can easily
material
assess their risk
misstatement.
of material misstatement at which level? Financial statement level. Xavier, you are getting out and coming in again and again. I mean, is there any problem in your internet? Please let me know. Is it from your side or from my end? Xavier? Okay, read it. Next one.
Determining materiality in accordance with SA 320.
So while understanding the entity, we have to ensure that we should determine the materiality also. What do you mean by materiality, everyone? Something which is non-important and non-significant, or something which is important and significant?
Important and significant.
Important and significant, because we need to segregate the immaterial items from what? Material items, so that we can invest our time and should not,
Immaterial
yeah,
items.
material items, and should not waste our time on immaterial
Immaterial.
items. Yes. Then next one.
Considering the appropriateness of selection and application of accounting policies.
Like, we also have to understand ki what kind of selection and what kind of application policies are being used by my client. Are you getting the point or not? Because you all know that ki once you select the application policies and once you apply it on your client's business, it has to be applied differently every year or consistently every year?
Consistently.
Consistently every year. Next point.
Identifying areas where special audit considerations may be necessary. For
Okay.
example,
Yeah. Yeah.
related party transactions, the appropriateness of management's use of the going concern assumption, or considering the business purpose of transaction.
Yes. So remember one thing, these are the special areas where you need to focus to identify the risk. Because I already told you, is it difficult to do the fraud with the related parties or very easy to do the fraud?
Very easy.
It's very, very easy to do the frauds in the case of related parties. And you always, and in the 570 also we have understood कि even though the management may overlook its going concern assumption in 570, if you remember, even if the management may overlook its going concern assumption, whether the auditor should overlook or auditor has to consider.
Consider
Auditor has to consider. And do you remember three types of indicators I told you? Financial indicators, operational indicators, and what? Other indicators. Like, say, for example, if your banks are not renewing your loans and it's been 3 months you are running behind the banks, why the banks are not interested in renewing your loan? Is your going concern is good in the market or bad in the market?
Bad in the market.
Bad in the market. There might be a case that you have defaulted one of the loan, and once you get blacklisted in the banking industry, remember one thing, no one will be ready to give you the loans. Do you all agree with that? Yes, so that is again a risky factor for you. So appropriateness of the management's use of which concern? Going concern. And considering the business purpose of the transaction. You have to understand in depth ki why this entity has done this business transaction. Why the entity has done this transaction. So you have to understand the business purpose of the transaction as well. That is how, what do you mean by understanding the entity? So understanding the entity means what? Assess its, point number one, what we have done. Understanding the entity means what? Assess its ROMUM. Understanding the entity means what? Assess its ROMUM. Understanding the entity means what? Apply materiality. Understanding the entity means what? Having the knowledge of accounting policies. Understanding the entity means what? What do you say? Checking out their, what do you say, related party transactions. We have to check out their going concern assumption. We have to check out their business purpose. And what is the next point? Understanding the entity means what?
developing expectations for use when performing analytical procedures.
Developing expectations for use when performing the analytical procedures. And last but not the least,
Evaluating the sufficiency and appropriateness of audit evidence obtained, such as the appropriateness of assumptions and of management's oral and written presentation.
okay, you all know that there are so many areas in the financial statements where the management assumptions are involved. So it is the auditor's responsibility to check the appropriateness of those assumptions. What do you mean by appropriateness of assumptions? Appropriateness of assumption means whether the assumptions made by the management are reliable, relevant, or not. Relevant, relevant, or reasonable. Correct or not? You can call it as triple R. You have to check whether it is reasonable assumptions, reliable assumptions, and relevant assumptions or not. I hope all of you understood the examples. Now, this thing though we already knew. Each word to word, it is already being given in your planning stage. You can see that auditor shall obtain the understanding of the following. Now, what is the first word written?
Relevant
Industry,
industry,
regulatory,
regulatory, and
other
other
external. Do you
external.
remember each and every word? Copy paste. We have done it from where? We have done it from our business policies chapter. So let me just show you so that you can have an idea. And let me write the page number also here. We have done the chapter number 2, right? Acquiring the knowledge of client's business.
Page number 24.
Page number 24. Yeah.
24,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. On the page number 24, you might be seeing that knowledge of client's business or not. Yes. Or same thing. Now, what is our now page number? What we are doing right now?
78. 78.
78. Yes. So I will write it here. Why to waste the time? We know that refer page 24, which we have already understood, which we have already referred. So that is nothing but called, what is another name of this topic? The another name of this topic is known as acquiring the knowledge of client's business. Okay. Continue, please. Internal control. Now, acquiring the knowledge of, guys, is there any problem coming that you are getting out of the meeting automatically?
No, sir.
Okay. So we acquired the knowledge of entity, but now we have to acquire the knowledge of their which system?
Internal control.
Internal control systems. Right or not? Read it.
As per SA 315, identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity and its environment, internal control may be defined as the process designed, implemented, and maintained by those charged with governance, management, and other personnel to provide reasonable assurance about the achievement of an entity's objective with regard to reliability of financial reporting, effectiveness and efficiency of operations, safeguarding of assets, compliance with applicable laws and regulations. The
Now,
term
if I have to tell you what is the definition of internal control system, I have to tell you one simple thing. Internal control system, first of all, is whose responsibility?
management.
Management and TCWG responsibility. Like, internal control system is having a very deep connection with the audit also. Let's talk about the auditor on one side and let's talk about the management on one side. Now, whether the auditor makes a planning or not, yes. Whether the auditor makes a program or not, yes. Whether the auditor decides his procedures, yes. Whether the auditor collects the evidences, yes. Whether the auditor applies the techniques, yes. All these things, who does? It is being done by the auditor. And what is the reason the auditor does that? What is his main reason? To achieve his what? Audit objectives. To achieve his audit objectives. And you all know that what is the audit objective of an auditor? Expression of opinion. That is called conclusion and reporting. Do you all agree with that?
Yes.
Yes. Same thing management also does. Management also plans. Management also programs its internal control system. Management also decide its procedures. Management also decides its evidences. Sorry, not evidences. Management also decides its techniques. And what is the reason management is doing all that? To achieve whose objective? Management objectives. Now, auditor's objective, though auditor's objective you very well know. Okay, what is the auditor's objective? To have an expression of opinion. What are the management objectives? Now, try to understand. Tell me, safeguarding of assets is whose objective? Management objective. Efficient and effective control of internal control system is whose objective? Management objectives. efficient and effectiveness of operations of the entity is whose objective? Management's objective. Timely preparation of financial statements is whose objective?
Management.
Management's objective. Next point, appropriate going concern assumption is whose objective? Management objectives again. And next point, what are the other management objectives? Compliance of what? Laws and regulations is also the management objective. Then what is the next thing? You can say that yes, compliance of AFRF is also the management objectives. Then you have to understand that code of ethics should be followed by the entity is also the management objective. So can you see that in management and auditor, there's not that much difference. Auditor plans, auditor programs, auditor decides the pet to achieve his audit objectives. And management also does that same thing to achieve its what? Management objectives. When the auditor does that, उसे हम auditing बोलते हैं. When the management does that, we call it as what? Which system? Internal control system. Did you all understand the comparison or not? Did you
Yes.
all understand what I'm trying to tell?
Yes.
Now, auditor also gives the which assurance? Absolute or reasonable assurance?
Reasonable
Yes,
assurance.
auditor also give the reasonable assurance. I'm not saying that management also will give the absolute assurance. Management also expects what? Reasonable assurance. Management also expects that the internal control system which they have installed in the organization should give the management reasonable assurance that its various objectives are getting what? Achieved. I'm not saying that internal control system will always be best, will always be perfect. There's no perfect internal control system in this world. But yes, internal control system can be better on daily basis. Are you getting the point? By updating your technology, by keeping your employees happy, frauds and errors will be reduced. All that is possible or not? So we plan, program, and decide our pet to give the reasonable assurance that is in the form of expression of opinion on client's financial statement as an auditor, and management installs its internal control system so that it can get the reasonable assurance ki whether its management objectives will be achieved or not. Did you all understand 100% what I'm trying to tell? Yes or no? Now, read the point again. This is what the definition of internal control system is. Read the definition of
Internal
internal
control may be defined as
Hmm.
the process designed, implemented, and maintained by those charged with governance,
So
management.
tell me one thing. Internal control system means what? The process designed. Who designed it? Management. Who implemented it? Management. Who maintained it? Management and TCWG and other personals of the organization. What is the reason management is doing it? To provide which assurance? Reasonable assurance. To provide a reasonable assurance about audit objectives or management objectives? Entities objective. And what are the entities objective? Reliability of financial reporting, effectiveness and efficiency of operations, safeguarding of assets, and compliance of what? Applicable laws and regulation. Did you all understand what I was trying to tell? So never ever, try to take the burden ki what is internal control system and how we learn the definition of internal control system. It is quite difficult. Just try to compare the internal control definition with whose definition? Auditor's definition. Automatically you can, like auditor plans, programs, and decide its pet to give the reasonable assurance. Management also design, implements, and maintains its internal control system to provide the reasonable assurance. Auditor tries to achieve his objective, and management tries to achieve their objective. I hope all of you will agree with me, whatever we have done so far. Yes, okay. So that is what brings an end to the definition of internal control system. Now, read the next point. That we already know. What are the objectives of what?
Internal control.
So management objectives are nothing but the objectives of internal control system only. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Why the management has installed the internal control system? You can also say that why internal control system gets installed. Why a company needs a good internal control system? Now, this is what the answer. Read it one by one. Very simple questions.
Transactions are executed in accordance with management's general and specific authorization.
So that transactions can be done with the accordance with the management's general and specific authorizations. That is the reason internal control system is required to be installed. Point number two, reason number two.
All transactions are promptly recorded in the correct amount in the appropriate account and in the accounting period in which executed.
Okay, stop. Can I say that they are talking about posting? Can I say that they are talking about posting, casting? They are talking about posting, casting, and validity. All three words. They are saying that all the transactions should be promptly recorded in a correct amount. Correct account amount means what? Correct totals. Am I correct? In the appropriate account means what? Correct posting. And in the accounting period means what? Correct validity. Did you all understand the meaning?
Yes.
So see, correct amount means what? Casting. Appropriate accounts means what? Posting. And in the accounting period in which executed is known as what?
Validity.
Validity. Did you all understand the meaning? Yes or no? So it is whose responsibility to check that? Is it auditor's responsibility or internal control system's responsibility?
Internal
And
control.
internal control system is whose responsibility?
Management.
Management. So indirectly, management is having some objectives. Management wants its internal control system to achieve the objectives on the behalf of whom? Management. That's why they are paying you. Am I correct or not? Now, do you think that the CEO will run the factory? Or the employees and laborers will run the factory?
Employees and
So TCWG, that is called CEO, has hired the employees to run the factory or not?
yes.
Now, what is employees? Employees are the internal control system. So it is the employee's responsibility to ensure that factory is run properly. So remember one thing, objectives of the management becomes the objectives of whom? Internal control system. So management is, accomplishing its objectives via internal control system. So what is the point number one? May we understood? Internal control system has to ensure that transactions are being done in accordance with whose order? Management's order. Second thing, internal control system has to ensure that transactions are properly posted, properly casted, and have a correct validity. Did you all understand the point or not?
Yes.
Yes. Now read the second point again.
All transactions are promptly recorded in the correct amount in the appropriate account and in the accounting period in which executed, so as to permit preparation of financial information within a framework of recognized accounting policies and practices and relevant statutory requirements, if any, and to maintain accountability for assets.
So can I say that they are nothing but talking about relevant statutory requirement means what? Laws and regulations. Yes. Next point.
Assets are safeguarded for unauthorized access, use, or disposition.
Now tell me one thing. Safeguarding of asset is management responsibility or not?
Yes, sir.
But management will install internal control system to achieve that responsibility. As simple as that. The objectives of the management are 100% the objectives of whom? Internal control system. Next one.
The recorded assets are compared with the existing assets at reasonable intervals and appropriate actions taken with regard to the difference.
Now, say for example, it's a very simple thing. It's nothing but they are talking about physical verification. They're not nothing but talking about physical verification. Now, tell me, should we conduct the physical verification of inventory and fixed assets at the regular intervals? If you remember, we all have understood that in Caro.
Yes.
In the Caro clause number 1 and clause number 2, what is the area of reporting by the auditor in the Caro clause number 1 and clause number 2? Fixed assets and inventory. And in both the cases, there was one common point, if you all remember, that the auditor has to ensure that the company is doing the physical verification of its fixed assets and inventories at which intervals? Regular intervals. so that they can find the differences between what they have recorded and what actually is what existing. So that is what they are saying. Recorded assets. What do you mean by recorded assets? Those which they have recorded in the books of accounts must match with those which are in what? Existence. Right or not? So physically, what is present and what is recorded in the books of accounts should match or not?
Yes.
Yes. If there is any differences, what they would like to take?
Action.
Appropriate action. Everyone crystal clear with each and every word?
Sir.
Yes.
So tell me everyone, what are the four objectives? Now it is written in front of you. What are the four objectives? Transactions are occurring with what? Authorization. Transactions are promptly what? Recorded. Assets are what? Safeguarded. And recorded assets should be compared with what? Existing assets. Why? To find out what? Differences and take what?
Appropriate action.
Action. Is it correctly written here? Yes or no? Any doubt or no doubt? No doubt. Okay. Now, next point, please. The entity's internal control system. Next.
The auditor should obtain an understanding of internal controls relevant to the audit. Although most controls relevant to the audit are likely to relate to financial reporting, not all controls that relate to financial reporting are relevant to the audit. It is a matter of auditor's professional judgment whether a control individually or in combination with others is relevant to the audit.
Acha, tell me everyone, is it always mandatory that auditor will always get the results by using the financial information? Or sometimes the non-financial information is also important?
Non-financial information is
Yes,
also
non-financial information is also important. Did I tell you the same thing in analytical procedure SA 520? What is
yes,
analytical procedure? It's nothing but evaluation of audit evidence by creating a plausible relationship between the financial and non-financial data. देखो, how much salaries and wages they have debited, that is a financial matter. But according to the number of employees, how many number of employees are there in the organization, that is a financial matter or non-financial?
non-financial.
But if the number of employees and the payment made to the employees will be calculated, it automatically will help me in calculating the total salaries and wages or not?
Yes.
Yes, so having the understanding of not only the financial thing is mattering, sometimes the auditor has to focus upon
Non-financial.
non-financial reporting also. So it's all the professional judgment of an auditor which kind of information is relevant for him, whether individually financial, individually non-financial, or combination of both. Clear everyone?
Yes.
Yes. Now read the next point.
Benefits of understanding of internal control.
Now tell me, these are benefits to whom? These are the benefits
Auditor.
to auditor. If he will understand the internal control system, benefits to auditor. If he will understand the internal control system, what will the benefits he will is going to get? What is the benefit number one?
Identifying types of potential misstatements.
It's a very simple thing. Do we do TOC? What is TOC, everyone? Testing of controls. So do we? It's nothing but we are now learning testing of controls in detailed manner. Testing of control means internal control system only, na? Yes. But before testing of controls, do we have to understand the controls first? Yes.
Yes.
So by understanding the controls, we'll come to know about what? Which misstatements?
Potential.
Potential means what? Which are already done or which may occur
Which may occur.
in future. Yes or no? Yes. Say for example, they have the older version of Tally. Are you getting the point or not? So in the newer version of Tally, new rates will be updated. So there might be a chance that their accounting is recorded as per the old rates only. Or say for example, we checked out that they don't have the staff who does the physical verification of inventory. So there are chances that physical verification of inventory at the regular intervals may or may not happen. So we are identifying the types of which misstatements, everyone? Potential misstatements. And how we can identify it? If we learn or if we'll understand their which system? Internal control system. Next point.
Identifying factors that affect the risk of material misstatements.
We can also identify the factors that may have the risk of material misstatements. Next point.
And designing the nature, timing, and extent of further audit procedures.
That we already know. Internal control systems will help us in deciding कि should I restrict my examination to internal control system testing of controls only, or should I go for substantive procedure? And when I'm using the word called substantive procedure, what does come to your mind? TOC or TOD?
TOD and
TOD.
TOD. In the TOD, again, two things. TOT,
testing of
TOB.
transaction.
Are you getting the point? TOT and TOB.
Yes.
So what are the three benefits? Tell me, what are the three benefits of understanding the internal control system? Point number one, we'll come to know about the which misstatements?
Potential.
Potential misstatements. Point number two, we'll come to know about the factors of Romum. Is it correctly written or not? And point number three, we'll come to know about NTE of our FAP. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Yes or no? Yes. Next one.
General.
General nature, characteristic of internal control system. Under that first topic is what?
Purpose of internal.
Purpose of internal control system. So tell me one thing. What are the management objectives just now in the definition of internal control system we did? Four objectives. Safeguarding of
Safeguarding of asset.
asset, effectiveness and efficiency of what? Operations, compliance of laws and what? Regulations, and most importantly, it was reporting as per AFRF. Am I correct or not? So these are the objectives of management. Tell me, objectives of the management are the objectives of whom?
Auditor.
Internal control.
Objectives of the management are the objectives of not auditor. Objectives of the
Internal
management
controls.
are the objectives of internal control system. So are you able to see the same 4 points here? The reliability of entities financial reporting, that is called AFRF, effectiveness and efficiency of which operations, compliance with applicable laws and what? Regulations, and safeguarding of what? Asset. That is the reason internal control system is designed, implemented and what? Maintained. Are you getting the point? So, but at the same point of time, internal control system is having some advantages. Yes, it gives us the potential threats. It gives us the information about the factors of Romum, and it also makes us understand the NTE of our audit procedure. Just now we have done. So can I say that these are the benefits of understanding internal control system? Yes, but in the internal control system, there are so many limitations also. And remember one thing, these are those limitations which are inherent in nature. What in nature?
Inherent.
Inherent. What do you mean by inherent, everyone? Something
No.
which can be eliminated or cannot be separated.
Cannot be separate.
Cannot be separated. It means that these limitations are those disadvantages which were there, which are there, and which will be there. It's like a shadow. Means these disadvantages are like the shadow of
By default.
internal control system. Can you escape from your shadow? No. Likewise, you can't escape from these limitations also. These are always attached with the internal control system. Limitation number one.
Internal control can provide only reasonable assurance.
Only reasonable assurance. What do you mean by that? Now see, internal control, no matter how effective, can provide an entity with only the reasonable assurance about achieving the entity's financial reporting objectives. The likelihood of their achievement is affected by the inherent limitations of its system, internal control system. Like, tell me one thing, is auditor is also going to give a reasonable assurance or absolute assurance?
Reasonable assurance.
Reasonable assurance. Like that, internal control system can also give you the reasonable assurance only. Even though you will hire the MBA who has done the MBA from Indian Institute of Management, IIM, the best MBA institute in India. But is there a possibility that that human can also do the error? Yes or no? So yes. So remember one thing, you can never expect the absolute assurance. Just because you installed the cameras in the bank, does that mean that frauds will not happen in the bank?
No.
Tell me one thing. The Nirav Modi and Vijay Mallya did the frauds in the bank only, na?
Yes.
Yes, but when the cameras were installed in those banks also,
Yes.
but still frauds have happened. So internal control system can never give you the which assurance? Can
Absolutely.
never give you the absolute assurance. It can only give you the reasonable assurance. How effective, how best the internal control system you have, you shall never expect the best result out of it. Better can be there, good can be there, but best results you can never say. It always gives you the reasonable assurance. Everyone crystal clear? Yes. Okay. Internal control system is full of which resource? Automated resources or human resource?
Both.
Both. Okay. Automation is there, but that automation is operated by whom?
Human.
Human. And human is a statue of what?
Error.
Errors. So can there be any judgmental mistake made by the human or not?
Yes.
Yes. So what is the next limitation?
Human judgment. in
Human
decision
judgment in which making? Decision making. It's a very simple thing. Now tell me, Komal, what is important in my judgment? Is it necessary that it should be important in your judgment?
making. No.
No. So tell me, human judgment differs from person to person?
Yes.
Yes, it differs. So that is the biggest drawback of involving the human resource in internal control system. Did you all understand? Now
Yes.
read it. Reality is that human judgment is decision making can be faulty and that breakdowns in the internal control system can occur because of which error?
Human.
Human error, right? What is the next disadvantage, everyone?
Lack of understanding the purpose.
Lack of understanding the purpose. Now tell me, giving the good training to your staff, making them aware about the code of ethics of the company, like drilling them, make them sure that yes, this is good and this is wrong. All these things are whose responsibility?
Management.
Management responsibility. If they will not understand the purpose, that why they have been hired, what is the reason of doing that job, will they be able to do it properly? No, they will
No.
not be able to do the properly. Now see, the operation of internal control system may not be effective, such as where the information produced for the purpose of internal control, for example, an exception report is not effectively used because the individuals responsible for reviewing the information does not understand the purpose or fails to take what? Appropriate action. So all these are nothing but the three disadvantages. Tell me, what are the three disadvantages? It only gives you the which assurance?
Reasonable.
Reasonable assurance. Always which error is involved? Human error is involved. And if there is a lack of understanding the purpose, then also it is limitation for the internal control system. What is the next one?
Confusion among people.
Tell me one thing. Is the human character easily bought and sold in the market?
Yes.
Yes. Suppose there is one CEO of Pepsi company and he knows so many secrets of the Pepsi company. Now Coca-Cola company offered the triple the amount of package which he is getting in the Pepsi company. Now tell me what the CEO will do. Will remain in Pepsi or he will jump to Coca-Cola company? He will definitely jump to which company? Coca-Cola company. Now tell me whether he will reveal all the secrets of the Pepsi to Coca-Cola?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So human collusion is always present or not?
Yes.
Yes. Remember one thing, collusion also means like हम लोग हिंदी में एक word use करते हैं मिली भगत. Milli Bhagat means what? Joining the hands with each other. And I think day before yesterday, I asked the same meaning in Telugu, Tamil also. What do you mean by that in Tamil? When the people join the hands together to do the fraud?
Puducherry.
Sorry, Puducherry.
Puducherry.
What is same copy paste? Correct or not? So this is what do you mean by the fourth disadvantage. What is the fourth disadvantage? Read it, everyone. Read it, Komal, please. Controls can be
can be circumvented by collusion of two or more people or inappropriate management override of internal control. For example, management can enter into side agreements with customers that alter the terms and conditions of the entity's standard sale contract, which may result in improper revenue recognition.
Now, say for example, to some customers you are giving unnecessary discount, and to the remaining customers you are not giving the discount. So that in that case, are you unnecessarily decreasing the revenue of the entity or not?
Yes,
Why? Why you are giving that discount to your customers? Because that customer is your what? Relative.
then
Just because he or she is your relative, you are doing the injustice with the company's revenue model. Am I correct? Yes. So collusion among the people might always be there. Next one.
judgment by management.
Okay, judgment by the management. What do you mean by judgment? Absolute or estimated?
Estimate.
Estimated. Clear? Now read it. You will understand.
Further, in designing and implementing controls, management may make judgments on the nature and extent of the controls it chooses to implement and the nature and extent of the risk it chooses to assume.
So management judgment is always correct or may go wrong?
May go wrong.
May go wrong. So tell me, what are the 5 disadvantages of internal control system?
Reasonable
First of all,
assurance,
it gives only reasonable assurance. Point number 2, human judgment is involved in decision making, therefore potential human error is always there. Point number 3, if you do lack to know or understand your purpose, you may not be doing your work properly. Then collusion among the people is there, and lot of management judgment is involved. Next one, limitation in case of which entities?
small entities.
Acha, tell me one thing. Can I say that Reliance India Limited might be having the India's best internal control system?
Yes,
Yes, but whether the same internal control system the small entity can afford?
no,
Why? Is the internal control system very easy to afford, or it's very expensive to be afforded?
expensive,
It's a very simple thing, sir. Reliance can afford 2000 chartered accountants to work under him. Whether the same thing a single small normal company can afford 2000 chartered accountants?
no,
No.
Because affording the good qualified people obviously sheds a lot of money on their survival. Am I correct? And you have to pay 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupees salaries per month to a chartered accountant that Reliance can afford, but you can't get it afforded in the which entities? Larger or smaller entities?
small entities.
Smaller entities. That is also one of the limitation. Now, there are some extra limitations which I would like to write, and please make a note along with me. Limitation number 7. Right, everyone? There itself only. If not updated, comma, it's outdated. If not updated, not right updated, it's obsolete. Tell me one thing, guys. Can I say that internal control system is purely based on information technology?
Yes,
And information technology is a constant process or dynamic process? It keeps on
changes.
changing. And can I say that 1 year internal control system may or may not be effective next year?
Yes.
But can every company afford to update its internal control system on yearly basis?
No,
No. So if it is not updated, can I call it as obsolete then?
yes,
Yes, that is a disadvantage number 7 of the internal control system. Disadvantage number 8, management manipulation. What do you understand by management manipulation? Tell me one thing. Internal control system means your employee, staff, and everyone. Am I correct? Yes. Even though these employees, staff want to do the work ethically, independently, in a good manner, in the best manner, in a professional manner, but are they always under the control of management?
yes,
Management can mold them in any manner for its own personal purpose.
yes,
Yes or no? Let's say, for example, there is one internal auditor. Now you all know that internal auditor is also a chartered accountant, but does he get the salary on monthly basis?
Yes.
Yes. So internal auditor, let the internal auditor be highly independent, very nice person, very ethical person. He was very happy that I did the work and management will appreciate me. He identified some 20 to 30 frauds and errors which are happening throughout the year in the company. He was very happy that when I'll go to the CEO and CFO's cabin, they will, tap on my shoulder and they will say that they're very proud of me. But when he showed his report to the CEO and CFO, they torn his report and thrown it in the dustbin and told him to turn around and go. Now tell me one thing, whether his whole dreams are thrashed or not. Yes,
Yes.
it's a very simple thing. Imagine that is the thing happening with you. What is the reason management manipulated it? Because management can do in that case. Because internal auditor is a puppet of whom?
Management.
Management. Who remunerates him?
Management.
To whom he reports?
Management.
And management knows that if these 30 frauds and errors which the internal auditor has detected will go in the hands of external auditor will give an unmodified report or modified report.
Modified.
That's what management does not want. So management told that ki, hey internal auditor, your report is negative. Do one thing, convert it into what? Positive. So he gave a which report, everyone? Did you understand what I wrote?
Yes,
He
sir.
gave a which report? Negative report. He's very happy because he has done the independently work. But can the management manipulate him to change it into what? Positive report. Did you all understand? That
Yes.
is called management manipulation. That is again the biggest disadvantage of what? Internal control
Internal.
system. Ninth disadvantage, everyone, may work well in normal situations, but it's a complete failure. It's a complete failure in abnormal situations. You know, your internal control system might be very much best in the normal situations, but when any abnormal situation comes, it's a complete failure. Sir, how you can say that? Now listen to this very carefully. See, if you have the cameras in the ICICI bank or any kind of bank and all, they can little bit prevent the frauds and errors or not. You can catch the
Yes.
person who is trying to do the theft, or you can catch the person who is trying to steal the money. Yes or no?
Yes.
But can they prevent earthquake?
No.
Can they prevent natural disasters?
No.
Can they prevent the damage which you will get in the natural calamities? No. So in the normal situation, your internal control system works very well. But in the abnormal situations, are they successful or complete failure?
Failure.
Failure. That is what the ninth disadvantage of internal control system. And the biggest disadvantage, it's a very costly affair. Not every entity can afford. Correct or not? Do you all agree with that?
Yes,
So I
sir.
think you can all correlate the point number 10 with the limitation number 6 written over here. Correct or not? Yes. So with that, what is over, everyone? We are done with what? Limitations of internal control system. I hope everyone is crystal clear. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Now, controls relevant to the audit. Read this point.
There is a direct relationship between an entity's objective and the controls it implements to provide reasonable assurance about their achievement. The entity's objectives and their controls relate to the financial reporting, operations, and compliance. However, not all these objectives and controls are relevant to the auditor's risk assessment.
Hmm.
Factors relevant to the auditor's judgment about whether a control individually or in combination with others is relevant to the audit may include such matters as the following.
Now, what are the things which matters to the auditor? That is what we are talking about now. What are the things which matters to the auditor?
Materiality, significance of related risk, size of the entity, nature of the entity's business, including its organization and leadership characteristics,
Hmm.
the diversity and complexity of entities' operations, applicable legal and regulatory requirements, circumstances, and the applicable component of internal control, nature and complexity of the systems that are part of the entity's internal control, including the use of service organizations, whether and how a specific control individually or in combination with others prevent or detect and correct material mistakes.
So these are all the things which matters to whom?
Auditors risk assessment.
Yes, it matters to whom? Auditor's judgment. So auditor is only concerned with these things. Auditor is never concerned with other irrelevant things of internal control system. Other irrelevant things of internal control system is the prime responsibility of whom? Management, not whom? Auditor. Clear everyone? Yes, next point.
Controls over the completeness and accuracy of information. Controls over the completeness and accuracy of information produced by the entity may be relevant to the auditor. May be relevant to the audit if the auditor intends to make use of the information in designing and performing further procedures. For example, in auditing revenue by applying standard prices to record of sale volume, the auditor considers the accuracy of the price information and the completeness and accuracy of the sales volume data. Controls relating to operations and compliance objectives may also be relevant to an audit if they relate to the data the auditor evaluates or uses in applying audit procedures.
Tell me one thing. Suppose I am checking revenue. Revenue means sales. Yes or no? Yes. If I'm checking the revenue or sales, whether the price and the volume matters to me. Tell me whether the price of product and the volume, quantity of the product sold matters to me.
Yes.
Yes. Now tell me, both should be accurately and completely recorded.
Yes.
Yes, that is what is being given in this paragraph. Even the accuracy and completeness of information matters when it helps you in designing. Remember, when the accuracy and completeness of information matters, it matters when auditor uses it. When auditor uses it in his NTE of AP. In his NTE of what? Audit procedures. Clear everyone? Any doubt in this page, everyone? I hope the things are going very smoothly inside your head because we already have an idea about all these things. So far, we have done almost 80 to 90% of the audit. So we already have an idea what internal control systems and everything all about, right? Next one.
Internal control over safeguarding of
Hmm.
internal control over assets against unauthorized acquisition or disposition.
There's a
Controls relating
disturbance coming. एक second. Manokaran, please mute yourself.
No, sir, not.
Not from your side.
is it clear now?
Yeah, it's clear now. You can unmute Manokaran. Sorry. By mistake I muted you. Please unmute yourself. Yeah.
Internal control over safeguarding of assets against unauthorized acquisition, use, or disposition may include controls relating to both financial reporting and operations objectives. The auditor's consideration of such controls is generally limited to those relevant to the reliability of financial reporting. For example, use of access controls such as passwords that limit access to the data and performs and programs that process cash disbursements may be relevant to the financial
It's a
statement
very
audit.
simple thing, guys. Whether the computers are the assets of the company,
Yes,
whether the data in the computers are also the assets of the company,
yes,
Yes.
whether the information in the computers are also the assets of the company. So they should be completely protected or not. Yes,
Yes.
by using the, okay, I will give you the option by using the login credentials or by using the biometric credentials. Which one is better login method?
Biometric.
Biometric credential. Is it very difficult to copy the biometric credentials? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
But it's very easy to, hack the normal login credentials. That's what they're talking about here in there. So these are nothing but called examples only, right? Next one.
Controls relating to objectives that are not relevant to an audit. An entity generally has controls relating to objectives that are not relevant to an audit and therefore need not be considered. For example, an entity may rely on a sophisticated system of automated controls to provide efficient and effective operations, such as an airline's system of automated controls to maintain flight schedules. But these controls ordinarily would not be relevant to the audit. Further, although internal control applies to the entire entity or to any of its operating units or business processes, an understanding of internal control relating to each of the entity's operating units and business processes may not be relevant to the audit.
So it's all about making the difference between what is relevant and what is irrelevant to the auditor. Because do we use the word concept of SA 320 or not?
Materiality.
Yes, what is SA 320? It is known as materiality. Are you getting the point? So materiality is nothing but called what? Making the differentiation between the immaterial items and what? Material
Material.
items. That is what they're trying to tell here. Next point.
The statute may require the auditor to report on compliance with certain internal controls.
And that we know that section number 143, subsection 3, clause I. Do we report on internal financial control systems, especially in our auditor's report?
Yes,
Now tell me, is it required by me or is it required by statute?
statute.
Statute.
Compulsory reporting.
Yeah, compulsory reporting. Very nice. Right? Read it, please.
In certain circumstances, the statute or the regulation governing the entity may require the auditor to report on compliance with certain specific aspects of internal control. As a result, the auditor's review of internal control may be broader and more detailed. Nature and extent of the understanding of relevant controls.
Yes.
Evaluating the design of a control involves considering whether the control individually or in combination with other controls is capable of effectively preventing, detecting, and correcting material mistakes.
Yes.
In
So tell me
implementing,
one thing. Is it the responsibility of the single person? Let's say, for example, there are computers and they are the high-end computers. Are you getting the point? It means, and there are biometric credentials also you have given to each and every one of your employee. Is it a poor internal control system or good internal control system? You are having the best computers, best workstations, best antiviruses, and you have done the biometric credentials to all your clients' all your what do you say employees' computers. Is it a sign of good ICS or poor ICS?
poor ICS.
Eh? Poor ICS.
Good idea.
Good ICS, Komal. You have the best computers, you have the best biometric credentials, and you have the qualified and competent staff. Is it a good ICS or poor ICS?
Okay, I thought access is given to
No, 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 no. I'm just talking about the assets only. Is it a good ICS or poor ICS?
good ICS.
Good ICS. But suppose your IT department, which is taking care of, what do you say, development of these computers and which is taking care of viruses and all, that IT department people are not efficient. Now tell me one thing, whether without your IT department being efficient, whether your staff's competence matters or doesn't matter. It's a very simple. It doesn't matter. Now remember one thing, computers and computers, competent staff and biometric attendance, it's a sign of good internal control system, no doubt. But what if your information technology department, which handles the complete centralized system of your computers, is not qualified, not competent, or are corrupted in nature? Then in that case, whether does it matter how competent staff you have in your computers, or it doesn't matter in that case? It's a very simple thing. I think you didn't understand. Suppose this is one department, this is one department. In this department, computers are there, right or not? Competent staff is also there. Everyone is super biomedical, but this is your IT department, which controls this department. This department is inefficient. Now tell
These
me,
are very good.
is there any use that this department is efficient?
No.
No.
No,
Even if this department is super efficient, any use or no use?
no,
No
use.
use. So remember one thing, sometimes the combination of controls also the auditor has to assess. In the combination, there's no doubt that this department is efficient, but if this department is inefficient, this department also becomes what?
Inefficient.
Inefficient.
Yes, sir.
That's what the point number 1 is talking about. Read the point number 1 again.
Evaluating the design of a control involves considering whether the control individually or in combination with other controls is
Individually
capable
or in combination with
other
other
controls
controls. Yes.
is capable of effectively preventing, detecting, and correcting mistakes.
Correct or not? So if your IT department is weak, but your normal like implementing department is right, then it doesn't make any difference, because if your IT department is wrong, poor, then there is no point of having the high-end computers. Do you all agree?
The
Yes. Next point.
implementation of the control means that the control exists and that the entity is using it. There is little point in assessing the implementation of a control that is not effective, and so the design of a control is considered first. An improperly designed control may represent a significant deficiency in internal control.
Okay, next point.
Risk assessment procedures to obtain audit evidence about design and implementation of relevant controls.
Tell me the five risk assessment procedures: inquiry, inspection, observation, analytical procedure, and recomputation.
Computation.
Yes, I think these are the things in front of you. Read the point number 1. What is the first one? Inquiry from.
Inquiry of entity personnel.
Next one.
Observing the application of specific controls.
Hmm.
Inspecting documents and reports.
Hmm.
Tracing transactions through the information system relevant to financial reporting inquiry alone, however, is not sufficient for such purpose.
Hmm.
Obtaining an understanding of an entity's controls is not sufficient to test their operating effectiveness unless there is some automation that provides for the consistent operation of the controls.
Yes. Okay. So now we are going to understand these 5 things. What are the 5 things we are going to understand? Components of internal control. In that, what are the 5 things we'll understand? Control environment, entities, risk assessment process, information system, control activities, and what? Monitoring of controls. Now this is called control environment. This is called entities risk assessment process. Third one is information system. And fourth one is control activities.
So all this is there in all syllabus also.
Sorry?
These last two topics are there in all syllabus also.
No, this is a part of essay 315.
Okay.
Yeah, essay 315 is so huge. Are you getting the point? This is all the part of essay 315 only. Yes, and after that internal audit will start, and that internal control by evaluation will start, and then testing. Evaluation then testing, I think in the previous part you have done, narrative records, checklist, internal control questionnaire. I think Komal, you have done that already, right? Yes, and testing of internal control system, a procedural test and examination in depth, that also we have done. And finally, materiality and audit risk. Internal audit, section number 138, and this chapter also will be over. So after this, we'll be left with only 2 chapters, that is called audit of different entities. And one is known, and the audit of different entities also audit of cooperative societies we are done with, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
sir.
So remaining audits may some 7-8 audits are there, 4 or 5 will practice in that chapter. and in the audit of different entities may different items may, I have to tell you everything about vouching and verification. How do we use the assertions in the vouching and verification? So I don't think so that after this chapter, I think maximum we need 4 lectures of 2 hours each, not more than that. So maybe tomorrow though we don't have class. Tomorrow we don't have class. Okay. So tomorrow is Monday and Tuesday would be 13th. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Tuesday is 13th. So 13, 14, 15, 16. So another 4 days. Maybe. Yeah. Maximum 17. Or is it the morning class from tomorrow onwards is going to be taken by Raja sir? I think morning
Yes, sir.
session. Yes, yes. Correct. FM. Okay. What are the subjects you are done with in group 2?
Yeah, yes, some.
IT, EASSM. Okay. That's it.
And what FM and economics is over.
FM and economics is also over.
Yes, sir. Only auditing and accounts is pending.
Okay. So auditing, so I think we started also quite late, na? These subjects were started already, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. And in the very first 1 month, we have taken alternate day classes. That might be the reason. Otherwise, we could have completed it. But anyways, no issues. So maximum by 17th, everyone, your portion should be over. Clear? So because I need one more lecture on this chapter, and after that, one more lecture in this chapter, and after that, what? After that, we need 4 more lectures. That means 14, 15, 16, 17. Yes. So those 2 chapters will take two lectures each, and yes, finally our audit will be over. So this is how it works. Okay, done. It's fine. Okay, nice. Okay, please continue with the components of control environment. Yes, components of internal control. Read it, please.
The deviation of internal control
The division.
division, sorry. The division of internal control into the following 5 components provides a useful framework for auditor to consider how different aspects of an entity's internal control may affect the audit. The control environment,
Now
the
see,
entity's
what do you understand by control environment, everyone? Control environment means, tell me one thing, whether it is the management's responsibility to create a ethical culture in the organization or not.
yes,
Yes, ethical culture means what? Everyone should be sincere, everyone should be honest, they should perform their duties without any fail. Are you getting the point or not? So this is all nothing but called control environment. What kind of environment is there in your entity that definitely helps the auditor in understanding whether he can rely upon these controls or not? Do you all agree with that?
yes, sir.
Yes or no? Now read it. The first point, control environment, component of internal control.
The auditor shall obtain an understanding of the control environment. As part of obtaining this understanding, the auditor shall evaluate whether management has created and maintained a culture of honesty and ethical behavior, and the strength in control environment collectively provide an appropriate foundation for the other components of internal control.
Okay. What is included in the control environment?
Uh, The control environment includes the governance and management functions and
Yes.
the attitude, awareness, and actions of those charged with governance and management.
Mm.
The control environment sets the tone of an organization, influencing the control consciousness of its people.
It's a very simple thing. Now tell me one thing. It's a very simple logic. I will tell you. Suppose there is one small employee and there is one managerial person. Now tell me whether the small employees always look at their top employees or not.
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, do they always want to become like them or not? Yes or no?
Yes,
So,
sir.
so can I say that this is management or TCWG, and this is called your employee or staff? Now, if this management in TCWG is unethical or fraud fellows or dishonest people, now tell me, are you setting up a good example or a poor example?
For example,
Poor example. Poor example on whom? You're setting up a poor example on
staff.
staff. Are you getting the point? So how dishonest or how honest you are, what is your attitude, what are your actions? So can I say that, acha, what does the organization represent? Is the organization represented by employee and staff or management or TCWG? Now, people, when the people do the contract, when the one company does the contract with the another company, do they meet the employee and staff or management or TCWG?
Management and
So
TCW.
tell me, can I say that management or TCWG decides the tone of organization?
Yes,
Yes,
Yes
sir.
or no? So that is called control environment. How ethical you are, how good you are, how honest you are, or how unethical you are, how bad you are, and how dishonest you are, that auditor has to understand their attitudes, auditor has to understand their governance policies, auditor has to understand the tone of organization. On the basis of that, can the auditor decide whether I can rely on their internal controls or not?
yes.
Yes. Point number one. Point number two, please.
The entity's risk assessment process.
Hmm.
The auditor shall obtain an understanding of whether the entity has a process for identifying business risk relevant to the financial reporting objectives, estimating the significance of the risk, assessing the likelihood of their occurrence, and deciding whether about actions to address those risks.
It's a very simple thing. It's a four process. What do you mean by four process? Four process is first of all identify what kind of risks the internal control system is having. Then estimate, are they significant or insignificant? Then assess their magnitude. What do you mean by magnitude? How big they can affect the organization. And finally, take your what? Actions. Are you getting the point? Are you getting the point or not? So you can simply call it as IAS. So IAAS, sorry, ISAA, right or not? तो identify करो, sorry,
IAA.
IEAA, IEAA. So identify the risks in the organization relating to the internal control systems, estimate whether they are significant or insignificant, assess their magnitude, and take what? Actions according to that. I hope the whole concept is clear inside your head now.
Yes.
Now read it. Identify the business risks relevant to the financial reporting objectives. Second point.
Estimating the significance of the risk, assessing the likelihood of their occurrence, and deciding about actions to address this.
That is called entities risk assessment, right or not?
Yes.
Next point.
Entity risk assessment process forms the basis for the risk to be managed. If that process is appropriate, it assists the auditor in identifying risk of negligence statement. Whether the entity's risk assessment process is appropriate in circumstance is a matter of judgment. The information system, including the related business process relevant to financial reporting and communication, component of control norm.
Okay.
The auditor, the auditor shall obtain an understanding of the information system, including the related business process relevant to the financial reporting, including the following.
Hmm.
The classes of transactions in the entity's operations that are significant to the financial statement, the procedures by which those transactions are initiated, recorded, processed, corrected, as necessary, transferred to the general ledger and reported in the financial statements. The
Okay.
related accounting reports supporting information and specific accounts in the financial statements that are used to initiate, record, process, and report transactions. How the information system captures events and conditions that are significant to the financial statement. The financial reporting process used to prepare the entity's financial statement. Controls surrounding journal entry.
Acha, everyone, the whole answer to this topic is, do you all remember I gave you one example of P2P operations? How many of you remember this example of P2P operation? Yes, procurement to purchase. Did we examine each and every department involved in that P2P operations or not?
Yes.
Yes. So what was our starting point if you remember? Stock department. And what was our ending point? The payment procedure. Now tell me one thing. Can I say that I understood their information system? How one department informs the information to another department.
Yes.
Now stock department informed to account purchase department कि we want a stock. Purchase department informed to whom? Accounts department ki invite the tenders. Accounts department told the tender department कि भैया go for the tenders. After the tenders, the stock came to the stock department. Stock department sent it to production department. Production department sent it to quality inspection. After quality inspection, they gave the information to accounts department. Accounts department told it to finance department. Finance department gave what? Check. So all these, this is nothing but the answer of which system? Information system only. How the transactions are getting recorded, processed, how they are transferring the information from one department to what? Another department, how the transaction initiates, who reports to whom, how do they capture the events, how the financial reporting process takes place, and how the journal entries are going to be taking place. So all these A, B, C, D, E, F points are nothing but the parts of which system? Information system. So how the information passes, how gradually it is passes, how fast it is passes from one department to another department, that will help in doing the less processing. Now tell me one thing, guys. Today's customer is patient or impatient?
Impatient.
Suppose you are going to the SBI bank. You want a DD, demand draft, and SBI bank is taking 1 hour 30 minutes, means 1.5 hours to process your DD. But you know that if you have an ICICI bank account, you just have to press a button in your iMobile app. The amount will be deducted from your account, and one person within half an hour will come to your house from the bank branch and he will deliver you the DD. Now tell me which services you would like to take. Going to the SBI where the long process of making the DD is there, or the easy process of ICICI bank iMobile app?
iMobile.
It's a very simple thing. Are you getting the point? So how fast you do the processing, how slow you do the processing, how fast you change or transfer the information from one department to another department, that shows the effectiveness of your internal control system.
Yes.
Am I correct? Now, whether the stock department immediately informed to the purchase department and purchase department immediately raised MRN or not, and you imagine that this might be happening on daily basis. So how fast their internal control system should be so that everything will be coordinated in a proper manner. That is what do you mean by their which system? Information system. So what are the three components we understood of internal control system? What are the three components of control environment we understood? First one, control environment we understood. Second thing we understood, entities risk assessment procedure. And third we understood what?
Information.
Information system. So this one is over. This one is over. This one is over. What is the next one?
Control activities.
Control activities. Yes, read it.
Segregation of duties. Authorization, performance review, information processing, physical control. The auditor should obtain an understanding of control activities relevant to the audit, which the auditor considers necessary to assess the risk of material misstatement. An audit requires an understanding of only those control activities related to significant audit, account balance and disclosure in the financial statement, and the assertion which auditor finds relevant in his risk assessment.
Now tell me, there are two types of control activities which are relevant to my RAP, which are irrelevant to my RAP. Tell me which one I am interested in.
Relevant.
Which are relevant to my RAP. So those control activities which are relevant to my RAP and which helps me in assessing the risk of material misstatement in the ABCD, that only I am going to take care of that. Right or not? Next point.
Control activities are the policies and procedures that help ensure that management directives are carried out. Control activities where within IT or manual systems, whether within IT or manual systems, have various objectives and are applied at various organizational functional levels.
Hmm.
Examples of specific control activities include those relating to the following. Control activities that are relevant to the audit are activities that relate to significant risk and those that relate to risk for which substantive procedures alone do not provide sufficient appropriate audit evidence.
Tell me one thing, guys. Is it mandatory to say that ki TOD is enough or analytical procedure is enough? Or do we have to make the good combination of both?
Good combination.
Yes, good combination of the both. So remember one thing, only TOC is not going to give you the result. Only substantive procedure is not going to give you the result. It's the good combination of the both we have to understand. And if you remember that we have already understood in SA 500 there, right or not? Yes. Next one.
Example, those that are considered to be relevant in the judgment of the auditor. As part of risk assessment, the auditor shall determine whether any of the risks identified are in the auditor's judgment or significant.
Yes. Next one. In exercising judgment as to which risks are significant risks, auditor shall consider at least the following. Means what? Whether the auditor's judgment is saying whether this particular control activity is required to be seen or not required to be seen is dependent upon these factors. What are the factors?
Whether the risk is a risk of fraud, whether the risk is related to recent significant economic accounting or other developments like changes in regulatory environment, etc., and therefore requires specific attention.
Obviously, if there is a risk which is relating to the fraud, is it relevant or irrelevant? Relevant, because you have the responsibility under the statutes also to report the fraud. How many of you remember section number 143 subsection 12? Do you have a duty to report the fraud, everyone?
Yes,
Yes or no? If the fraud amount is less than 1 crore, you have to report it to audit committee or board of directors within how many days? 2 days. And if the fraud amount is greater than equals to 1 crore, then you have to report it to secretary MCA within how many days?
2 days.
Within how many days? Within 60 days. If it is greater than equals to 1 crore, to the secretary MCA, do you have to report it within 60 days? If it is less than 1 crore,
within 2 days.
within 2 days, you have to report it to audit committee or board of directors. I hope fraud, risk relating to risk of fraud is important or non-important? Important. What is the second type of risk which is important?
Is related to recent significant economic accounting or other developments like changes in regulatory environment.
Yes. So let me ask you one thing. Say for example, accounting standard changed. Or say for example, government policy changed. Now tell me, lockdown happened. Now lockdown happened means what? Is it something which is controllable or uncontrollable?
Uncontrollable.
Now, but due to that, are your operations going to shut down completely?
Yes.
Whether that kind of risk matters to you or doesn't matter to you? Matters to us, right or not? Next one, C point.
The complexity of transactions.
Now, if it's a simple transaction, it's okay. But if there is a complexity, complexity means what? Easy to understand or difficult?
Difficult.
So that also becomes important to you. What are the three type of risks which you think that and your judgment says that these are significant risks? Risk relating to what? Fraud,
Fraud.
risk relating to regulatory requirements, risk relating to complexity of what? Transactions. Next one, fourth one.
Whether the risk involves significant transactions with related parties.
That with the closed eyes also you can do. RPT, related party transaction. They are highly risky. Am I correct or not?
Yes.
Yes. Next one.
The degree of subjectivity in the measurement of financial information related to the risk, especially those measurements involving a wide range of measurements and
Tell me one thing, guys. Contingent liabilities are certain or uncertain?
uncertain.
Now tell me, management will always say whether they are going to lose the case or win the cases.
Win the
if you will ask the management ki, are you going to win the case or lose the cases, those which are appearing in your contingent liability, what is the expected answer you will get from the management?
win the case.
So tell me, are you going to believe that or you are going to verify that?
Verify.
And we know that how to verify that as per SA 501 litigation and claims, correct or not?
Yeah.
Yes. So that are also the significant areas which might be risky. Next one.
Whether the risk involves significant transactions that are outside the normal course of business for the entity or that otherwise appear to be unusual.
So unusual, abnormal, extraordinary, exceptional transactions. You should never ignore because they are what in nature? Unusual in nature, abnormal in nature, extraordinary and exceptional. Like if I have to ask you the example, uh, loss caused to the stock worth rupees 100 crores due to fire. Now, does the fire takes place daily basis
Yeah,
or is it an exceptional item?
exceptional.
Exceptional item. So, would you like to ignore in that case? No. So, what are the 6 areas which in the auditor's judgment are significant areas? Areas relating to
Fraud,
fraud, areas where complexity is involved,
regulatory,
areas where the government regulatory requirements are involved, areas which are unusual, abnormal, non-recurring, and what? Extraordinary in nature, then
related parties,
related party transactions, and then what?
contingent liability.
Contingent in nature, or where high uncertainty is there. So remember these 6 keywords. These are those 6 significant areas which the auditor at least should take care into consideration. Clear or not?
Yes.
Yes. Next one.
Identifying significant risks. Significant risks often relate to significant non-routine transactions or judgmental matters. Non-routine transactions are transactions that are unusual due to either size or nature, and that therefore occur infrequently. Judgmental matters may include the development of accounting estimates for which there is significant measurement uncertainty.
Hmm.
Significant risks are inherent risks with both a higher likelihood of occurrence and a higher magnitude of potential.
Tell me everyone, yesterday we understood what do you mean by inherent risk? Inherent risk is that risk the error may occur or error will definitely occur.
Definitely.
Definitely. So significant risk are which risk?
Inherent.
Inherent risk, which both have high likelihood of occurrence and higher magnitude of what? Potential misstatement, right?
The auditor assess assertions affected by a significant risk as higher inherent risk. The following are always significant risks. Risk of material misstatement due to fraud, significant transactions with related parties that are outside the normal course of business for the entity.
Hmm. So these are now out of the first 6 one. So can I say that the first one and fourth one, they're highly inherent risk in nature. That is what they're trying to tell. Risk of material misstatement due to fraud and risk of transaction with related parties that are outside the related parties, not this one. First and fifth one. Right or not? They are the highly prone risk, and these definitely occur everyone. Tell me one thing, can you resist when you have a related party with whom you can do the fraud? Most of the companies will definitely do it. And that is the major area where the auditor always should have a focus upon. Clear or not?
Yes.
Yes. Next point.
Risk of material misstatement greater for significant non-routine transactions.
What do you mean by non-routine, which are normal or abnormal?
Abnormal.
Abnormal things. Are you getting the point or not? Non-routine also means which are not carried out on daily basis.
Daily basis.
Right? Now read it.
Roman may be greater for significant non-routine transactions arising from matters such as greater management intervention to specify the accounting
It's a very simple thing. Management always, just now we have done one of the limitation of internal control system also, which I made you write. Management manipulation, did I make you write or not? Did I make
Yes,
you write
sir.
one of the limitation, management manipulation? What do you mean by management manipulation? If whenever the management wants, can they change their accounting entries according to their thing?
Yes.
Yes, that is what greater management intervention to specify the accounting treatment. Next one.
Greater manual intervention for data collection and processing.
So tell me one thing, where the chances of less miscalculations and less errors are there? Automated or manual?
Automated.
So
Automated.
if you are doing the greater manual intervention for data collection and processing, which should be done by the automated environment, then risky area or less risky area? Means there is a data collection and processing which should be done by automated environment, but you are indirectly or you are intentionally pushing the manual intervention in that. So is it a risky or non-risky area?
Risky.
Yes. Next one.
Complex calculation or accounting
Principles. Next one.
nature of non-routine transactions, which may make it difficult for the entity to implement effective controls over the risk.
Now, did I tell you the same another one of the like inherent limitation of internal control system? Okay, in the normal situation, internal control systems are success, but in the abnormal situation, are they the complete failure?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? So that is what they are talking. Can they prevent the natural disasters?
No.
No. So that is what. But can they prevent the hacking if you have the good antivirus? Can they prevent the
Yes.
hacking if you have the good IT system? Yes. So this is what risk of material misstatement relating to non-routine transactions. Next one.
Roman greater for significant judgmental matters.
That though you already know. Romum is always there where the judgmental matters are involved. What do you mean by that judgmental matters are involved? Tell me one thing. There are so many areas where the management estimations are involved or not?
Yes.
Where the management assumptions are involved? Yes. So that may be correct or may not be correct. So that is why we have to check the Romum in the judgmental areas also. Read it.
Roman will be greater for significant judgmental matters that require the development of accounting estimates arising from matters such as accounting principles for accounting estimates or revenue recognition may be subject to differing interpretation.
Hmm.
Required judgment may be substantive or complex, or required assumptions about the effects of future events, for example, judgment about fair value.
Acha, everyone please tell me, 8 p.m. is the closing time of my office, say for example, and 7:45, and it is the 31st March 2021. One order comes for sales. I immediately created the invoice and sent to him, and he made the payment to me. But the delivery will take place on 4th April. Tell me, it is a revenue of which year?
2021.
2021 or 21-22?
2021.
2021.
So you are saying 2021 because we have the knowledge of AS9. Am I correct or not? What is AS9?
Revenue recognition.
Revenue recognition. But whether the management may consider it intentionally as a sales of next year or not?
Yes.
Yes. Why the management is considering it for the next year? They want to increase the GP or decrease the GP?
Decrease.
Decrease the GP. So are they trying to avoid the taxes?
Yes.
This is called window dressing. So this is a risky area where the management estimates and judgments are involved.
Yes.
Yes, everyone. Okay. So risk of material misstatement greater for significant judgmental matters. Over. Next one. What is the fifth things we have to check, everyone?
Sir,
Yes.
that example also comes under cut-off procedures of audit.
Yeah. Cut-off procedures. Yes, you have that in vouching and verification. Yes. Read the last topic. So what are the 5 components of internal control system out of 4 we have done? What is the first one we have done?
Control environment.
Environment, control environment we are done with. Yes or no? Second one, wrap we are done with. Third one, information system we are done with. Fourth one, control activities we are done with. Now we are going to understand.
Monitoring.
Acha, tell me everyone, what do you understand by monitoring? Should you install the controls and keep it as it is, or you should review and monitor it and control it at regular intervals?
Even monitoring at regular intervals.
Yes, because internal control system always keeps on what? Constant or changing? Changing. So you have to keep on having a constant eye over your internal control system so that you can understand whether these internal control systems are updated or not. Like say for example, we all use our mobile phones, iPads and computers. Whenever any update in our software comes, do we allow that update to install or not?
Yes.
Yes. And why do you allow? Because when you read that, it is written that it has improved the efficiency of camera or removes the bugs and all. That is what the same thing. Company's internal control system is also dynamic in nature. It keeps on changing. It keeps on required to be updated. Therefore, it is the company's responsibility to ensure that they should monitor and keep on controlling their internal control system. Next one.
Auditors shall obtain an understanding of major activities that the entity uses to monitor internal controls over financial reporting. Monitoring of controls defined. Monitoring of controls is a process to assess the effectiveness of internal control performance over time.
Now tell me, the day when you will come to know that your internal control systems are not performing well, is it the time to continue or is it the time to update?
Update.
Update. That is what they are saying. Monitoring of the control is a process to assess what?
Effectiveness of
Effectiveness of the internal control performance over a time. Right or not? You have to keep on performing or you have to keep on assessing its performance over the time so that you will come to know that when it is required to be changed. Next one.
helps in assessing the effectiveness of controls on a timely basis. It involves assessing the effectiveness of controls on a timely basis and taking necessary remedial action.
So if you think that that particular control is completely useless, are you going to continue or you're going to replace it? Replace it. Next one.
Management accomplishes through ongoing activities separate evaluation. Management accomplishes monitoring of control through ongoing activities, separate evaluation, or a combination of the two. Ongoing monitoring activities are often built into the normal recurring activities of an entity and include regular monitoring supervisory activities. Management's monitoring activities include Management's monitoring activities may include using information from communication from external parties such as customer complaints.
Acha, tell me one thing. Say for example, I'm asking you a very simple question genuinely. Say for example, there is one coaching institute and which is providing you the best coaching over a period of time, right or not? But sometimes you know that success is not very easy to be digested. Now that coaching institute thought that yes, I am the best, my internal controls are best, my teachers are best, no complaints and all. But over a period of time, if you start getting the complaints from the parents, or if you start getting the complaints from the students, ki sir, this faculty is not teaching properly or that is not teaching properly. What is the need of that management to do now? What management should do at that point of time? Is it time to continue with the same or is it time to update the same?
Update.
So tell me one thing, whether the same thing happens with the company also or not. See, there is one time when you will provide the quality product and every customer is satisfied. But remember one thing, customer taste changes over the period of time. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Yes or no? Customer taste changes over a period of time. It's not that key you can make the customer always happy with the same product only. Now customer needs something updated. Now then in that case what will happen? Customers regular complaints and regular comments will start coming. So if the complaints and comments are coming, is there any need of requirement of improvement in that case? Tell me. If the customer complaints are coming, is there any requirement of or need of improvement or not?
Yes.
Yes. Say for example, you are not liking my material. So I cannot have the same material to be distributed for the next 10 years. Do I have to keep on updating my material according to the requirements of the student? Now I think Komal, you might be having my older material also.
I took the SM classes.
Yeah, you took the SM classes and you are from the old syllabus, na?
Yes.
Yes. So if you'll ask your friends and all, if they have taken my material, that material and this material which I'm giving you is completely different. The reason? Because in that material, it was all up to November 19, how the ICA used to ask the questions. But now from November 19 and then November 20 and then Jan 21 examinations, mein, there's a huge difference I found. Now ICA is doing what? ICA is completely asking you everything as it is from its study material. So tell me, is it high time that we should recreate the language of our material from a normal language to the ICA material language or not?
Yes.
Yes, and that's the reason I am making you read each and every line in the material, even though it is taking a lot of time to accomplish the 436 pages of material. But at the end of the day, will you all be having a satisfaction that yes, this ICA material we have read it thoroughly. Now let them ask, even though any kind of question will come in the form of MCQ and all, at least you will be having an idea that okay, I have read this. You will have a courage to think about it. Are you getting the point? That's the reason I completely revamped my material, completely refurbished, completely changed. So there is always a need of improvement. If you are not improving in your, field, then in that case, there's no point of doing that work. I hope all of you understood what I'm trying to tell.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So remember everyone, change is the only thing which is never constant. It keeps on changing. So you always have to be updated with the changing environment. Last point.
In case of small entities, management's monitoring of control is often accomplished by management's or the owner manager's close involvement in operation. This involvement often will identify significant variances from expectations and interferences.
So what they're trying to tell you in this paragraph is in the smaller organization, monitoring and controlling is easy. The reason number of people are more or number of people are less?
Less.
Less. So management directly can involve in the monitoring and controlling. Whereas now, do you think that in the Reliance India Limited, Mukesh Ambani will be sitting with each and every employee and he'll be taking care of each and every complaints?
No.
No,
No.
he does not have that much of time because that is what the biggest issue with what? Bigger organizations. So at that point of time, in the bigger organizations, how do they solve this kind of problem? They'll be having the separate departments called monitoring and controlling departments. So we have to check that one also. I hope all of you understood what we have done so far.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Now please continue with the last topic.
Monitoring of controls if the entity has an internal audit function.
Hmm.
If the entity has an internal audit function, the auditor should obtain an understanding of the following: the internal audit function's responsibilities and how the internal audit function fits in the entity's organizational structure. The activities performed or to be performed by the internal audit function.
Now tell me one thing. Internal auditor, even though we sometimes have a now I think every one of you might be having one image of internal auditor in your mind. What is the image of internal auditor in your mind, everyone? Internal auditor is a person who is remunerated by the management, reportable to the management, appointed by the management, and a puppet of management. Am I correct or not?
Yes.
But that internal auditor is non-independent or less independent? Less independent as compared to, obviously, if you will also be the internal auditor of one company, even though you have a practicing firm, but suppose you have been appointed as internal auditor of one company, then your role changes actually. It is not a negative character. It's just your role which changes, because what role you play as an external auditor and what role you play as an internal auditor, both matches or differently? Different. As an external auditor in one company, you will behave like a very independent person. IOI, integrity, objectivity, independence will be there inside you. But if as a same person, if you are the internal auditor of another company, will you behave like external or internal now? If you are the internal auditor in any company, will you behave like external or internal now?
Internal.
But are you the same person who is behaving external in another company?
Yes.
So it just what changes? your role changes, your responsibility changes, your objectivity changes, your planning changes, your execution changes. That is not a bad character. It is just that his role is such like that कि from the external auditor point of view, when we think that कि internal auditor is good or bad, always we assume that internal auditor is what? Bad. Whether internal auditor is useful or useless, useless. Why? Because he's a puppet of management. But think logically, one day when you will become the internal auditor of one company, will whether the external auditor of that company will think the same way on you or not?
Maybe.
Yes. So remember one thing, internal audit is also a very big profession in itself. And nowadays, so it is becoming very popular line of audit. And because there is a huge opportunities in, because companies are growing bigger and bigger and companies are increasing in their sizes bigger and bigger daily basis. So when you cross section number 138 requirements, definitely you have to hire a which auditor? Internal auditor. But how, what kind of activities the internal auditor is performing, how he's performing, what are his responsibilities, what are his objectives, whether that internal auditor is fitting to the internal control system of the company or not, all that matters to whom? External auditor. Because at the end of the day, you cannot deny the fact that the internal auditor stays with the company throughout the year. Is it correct or not?
Yes.
Yes, and who knows the each and every single inch of information about the company, external or internal?
Internal.
Internal auditor. So can I say that if internal auditor is pretty competent person and qualified person, he can proven to be an asset to the external auditor?
Yes.
Yes, there comes the need of SA 610, which we are going to understand in the next class, right or not? Now read it.
The following points merit consideration in this regard. Internal audit function relevant to the audit. Entity's internal audit function is likely to be relevant to the audit if its activities are related to the entity's financial reporting.
Hmm.
Also, if the auditor expects to use the work of internal auditor to modify the audit procedures to be performed, when the auditor determines that the internal audit function is likely to be relevant to the audit, SA 2610 applies. Size and structure of the entity. The objectives of an internal audit functions vary widely depending on the size and structure of the entity and the requirements of management. Internal audit functions may include the responsibilities of the internal audit function may include, for example, monitoring of internal control, risk management, and review of compliance with laws and regulations. On the other hand, the responsibilities of internal audit functions may be limited to the review of the economy, efficiency, and effectiveness of
So
operations.
they are just simply trying to tell that key how the internal audit function is relevant to your audit. The reason is very simple. In the very first line only it is written entity's internal audit function is likely to be relevant to the audit if its activities are related to the entity's financial reporting. Now tell me one thing, whether the company gives the responsibility to the internal auditor to check the AFRF or not?
Yes.
Yes or no? And when the external auditor will come and he will check the AFRF whether complied or not, who is the first person to whom he will approach? Is it the management or internal auditor? Whether the AFRF works or properly or not. Is he going to approach the management first or not? Yes. But management has given this responsibility to whom?
Internal audit.
So then in that case, he will approach the internal auditor. And when he is going to approach the internal auditor, will there be any requirement of following the SA 610? Yes, because what
Yes.
is 610 says? Using the work of which auditor?
Internal audit.
Internal auditor. That is what the point number one. Point number two says that size and structure of the entity. Now tell me one thing, whether the internal auditor functions will remain same in every entity or it depends upon the nature and size of the entity.
Nature and size.
Nature and size of the entity. In some entities, internal auditor are just being hired for doing the simple internal audit. In some entities, the internal auditor are being given the more responsibilities like checking the internal control system also, doing some investigations also, or checking the accounting system also. So it all depends upon the size and structure of the entity, what kind of functions and what kind of objectives the internal auditor is going to have. That is what the point number 2, everyone. Point number 3 में what they are saying, internal audit का function basically होता क्या है? What are the major functions of internal auditor? The major function is monitoring which control? Internal control systems. Remember one thing. Acha, I will tell you one chain now. Try to understand one chain. Now tell me, do we know all the 4 objectives of management?
Yes.
Yes. Whether management achieves the objectives by itself or by installing internal control system.
By installing internal control
So
system.
4 objectives of management becomes the 4 objectives of whom? Internal control system. But whether the internal control system is achieving those objectives or not, who is going to verify that? Internal auditor. And whether internal auditor has done that monitoring or not, who is going to check that? External auditor. Are you understanding the chain?
Yes.
So management has given its responsibilities to the internal control system. Whether internal control system is achieving its responsibilities or not, who is monitoring that? Internal auditor. Whether internal auditor is properly giving his function of monitoring or not, who is going to check that? External auditor. This is how the chain works in the organization. So his major functions are what? Monitoring of internal control, risk management, and review of compliances. So he's not going to do that. Who is going to do that?
Management.
Management. And management is getting it done by whom? Internal control system. So internal auditor is not doing that. Internal auditor is checking that whether the management is doing that or not. Are you getting the point or not? That's why it is written monitoring of internal control. You can see here it is written monitoring of internal control, risk management, and review of what? Compliances. Is it written doing that or monitoring that? Monitoring that, right or not? And sometimes the internal auditor is not allowed to get involved in that. He is only allowed to check what? Economy, efficiency, and what? Effectiveness of operations, right or not? Next point.
External auditor's activities. On the basis of internal activities, if the
You are a little bit slow. Just raise your volume. Yeah.
On the basis of internal audit activities, if the internal audit functions responsibilities are related to the entity's financial reporting, the external auditor's consideration of the activities performed may include review of internal audit functions audit plan for the period.
See, it's a very simple thing they are saying that if the internal auditor activities or if the internal auditor is relating to the AFRF of the company. Now tell me whether checking the AFRF is the major objective also of the external auditor or not.
Yes.
And when the internal auditor is also attached with the AFRF in the organization, whether using the work of internal auditor becomes mandatory?
Yes.
Yes or no? Because he checked the AFRF only at the end of the year or throughout the year. So tell me whether internal auditor's report will prove as an asset to the external auditor in that case?
Yes.
Yes, that is what they're trying to tell you here. Next point.
Satisfactory control environment, not an absolute deterrent to fraud.
Hmm.
The existence of a satisfactory control environment can be a positive factor when the auditor assesses the risk of material misstatement. However, although it may help reduce the risk of fraud, a satisfactory control environment is not an absolute deterrent to fraud.
That too we already do, na? Risks can be eliminated or risk can only be reduced.
Reduce.
Even though you have the satisfactory control environment, even if your internal controls are highly satisfactory, but does it mean that there is no fraud and error in your organization?
No.
But can I say that there are less frauds than errors in your organization?
Yes.
Yes, that is what they're trying to tell.
Conversely, deficiencies in the control environment may undermine the effectiveness of controls, in particular in relation to fraud. For example, management's failure to commit sufficient resources to address IT security risks may adversely affect internal control by allowing improper changes to be made to computer programs or to data or unauthorized transactions to be processed.
Tell me,
As
everyone,
example,
if there is a company and their information technology department is going through the bad times, means what? They are not at all updated, and management is also not looking after it. Now tell me whether the chances of frauds and errors will increase or decrease,
increase.
because anyone can do any changes in the program, anyone can access anyone's computer unauthorizedly. So in that case, chances of frauds will definitely what?
Rise.
Rise. So that is what they're trying to tell. Read the last para.
The control environment in itself does not prevent or detect and correct a material misstatement. It may, however, influence the auditor's evaluation of the effectiveness of other controls. For example, the monitoring of controls and the operation of specific control activities, and thereby the auditor's assessment of risk of material
So
misstatement.
simply, what is the conclusion of this whole paragraph? Satisfactory control environment doesn't mean that company is free from what? Frauds and
Mr. Fraud.
errors. Yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
So what is the next topic? The next
Evaluation
topic
of
is evaluation of internal control system. After that, we have testing of internal control system. After that, we have internal audit system and internal check system. So I think, and SA16 in the tomorrow's class, this chapter should be over. क्योंकि ये बहुत ही easy chapter है, internal controls and IT environment, all these topics. So I'll be making you write this. I think I have already written this also. So no issues. Even if I have written this, I'll make you write this again. And after that, section number 138 we have to do. After doing section number 138, we have to do, I think 138 in the company audit, I didn't tell you because that was relating to internal audit, right? Section from in the company audit chapter, we have started from 139 section, right?
Yes.
Yes. So 138 will do here, along with that 610 will do here. So with that, our this thing will be over. So let me just check whether evening we can take the class or not. Let me just check it, because in the evening my other commitments have cancelled. In the evening, if I can take the class, then we'll wind up this chapter today itself only. Let me just check. Guys, today you are whole day free, or what are your like schedule? Guys, what is your schedule today?
3 to 7 advanced accounting.
3 to 7 advanced accounting. Okay. 3 to 7. So 7 to 9 possible for you people or not possible? I think you will be completely exhausted. So there's no point. Okay. So let me check whether morning I can take. Just give me 1 second, okay? Give me 1 second.